(1987), a year of many things. Of Reference Point, the Derby winner who shone through the season before blowing out in the Arc. Of his trainer Henry Cecil, another. (1987), a year of many things. Of Reference Point, the Derby winner who shone through the season before blowing out in the Arc. Of his trainer Henry Cecil. That, despite hundreds of races and millions of words, we're all still in the dark as to the top colt amongst the two-year-olds. And that on the jumping side, Desert Orchid's finest hour would be in the King George at Kempton. But of course, no prizes for guessing See You Then was champion hurdler for a third term with just one warm-up before Cheltenham. Yes, it's welcome again to this unique video record of the racing year. It's the 7th in the series, and this one tape recalls the highlights in 3 different sections: the older horses, the two-year-olds, and of course the jumpers. But we begin at Newmarket's Craven meeting in April, and with a race that often makes a good start to sorting out the 3-year-old form. This year's free handicap had 11 runners and featured a major gamble on Lester Piggott's Hydraulic Power, who ironically was not to win all season. But the first 2 home were both to be placed in early classics.
Tightly grouped, Noble Minstrel possibly just about in front, Crofter's Klein still well there. Tracking them on the rail is Ongoing Situation. Prominent towards the centre is Cutting Blade, and prominent towards the outside Linda's Magic, and also improving on the wide outside is Scarlet Blade. Just behind the leaders on the inside is Midi-Ann. They're just about to pass the bushes, and the whole field very tightly grouped. Crofter's Klein, one of the leaders, together with Noble Minstrel. Noble Minstrel possibly just the leader, from Sidara, and then Cutting Blade and Linda's Magic. Scarlet Blade making a run on the far side. Singing Stephen following that one through, and tracking the leaders on this side, Hydraulic Power, and that one coming through to challenge Noble Minstrel, who still shows in front. And as they meet the rising ground, it's Noble Minstrel who quickens clear. This one by 2-3 lengths from Hydraulic Power. It'll be very close after that, but Noble Minstrel seems to have got this well won as they come to the line. Very close for the minor placings. At the line, Noble Minstrel the winner. Midi-Ann runs on to be second. Close for third.
Noble Minstrel later second in the French Guineas, and Midian third in ours. But now to Ajdal, winter favourite for R2000, and a horse who even in victory seemed to leave questions in the air. Here he is, beginning his season in the Craven Stakes, in against horses who are also going to be around throughout the campaign.
So 3.5 to race from here. Don't Forget Me on the rails, just a half length away. Most Welcome on the outside, a similar distance to Golf King. Ajdal moves a little bit closer, and this one's in the company of Love the Groom and Genghis on the rails. So 6 in very close company as they pass the bushes. They've just over a quarter to race now, where Most Welcome comes up to join Don't Forget Me, the early leader. Ajdal looming up on the outside. These 3 have gone away by a couple of lengths from Love the Groom. There's rather more than this to Genghis and Golf King, the back markers. And Ajdal hits the front with about 150 yards to race. 50 yards to go now. Ajdal, Don't Forget Me, holds on well, and up to the line it's Ajdal from Don't Forget Me. After these we go down.
Now our first look at the fillies, the Masaka Stakes at Kempton, an opening race of the season for all 7 runners, and Interval looked as if she had a good time ahead of her.
And Interval making steady headway on the outside, these followed by Working Model. Into the straight now in the bonus print Masaka Stakes, and Canadian Mill on the rails. Being challenged strongly now by Castle Creek. Mamuna starts a forward move in between the pair of them. Close behind them, Interval is 4. Then after this comes Working Model on the outside. They've got 1.5 to race, and it's Mamuna who taking working it up. Canadian Mill on the rails, and Mamoona being challenged by Interval. Working Models in third, and as they go for the line, it's Interval who's gone a length clear of Mamoona in second, Working Models third, but going for the line, it's Interval with a 2-length advantage from Mamoona. Challenging for second is Working Model. Going for the line, Interval's the leader. It's close between Working Model and Mamoona.
One race after Interval, it was Shady Heights' turn to be on trial, and it's worth remembering that this performance put him through to Derby favouritism.
The outside one off the rails, Mountain Kingdom, Mark Angelo, and after this Tartuffe. So they race round the turn into the straight. They've got 2.5 to go from here. And Bishy on the rails now, challenged by Glory Forever. Shady Heights still making steady headway up the centre. Accompanist is 4 Mountain Kingdom, 5 Tartuffe, 6 Mark Angelo, 7. They've got 1.5 furlongs to race in the bonus sprint Easter, and it's Shady Heights now. Shady Heights takes it up as they come to the final furlong. He goes a length clear. Glory Forever's in second. Bishy's a length behind in third. Mountain Kingdom runs on well, but it's Shady Heights 3 lengths clear, going for the line. Shady Heights drawing clear. Glory Forever's in second. Mountain Kingdom's in third, and it's Bishy in fourth.
Teleprompter has been one of the most popular horses around for several seasons, and he began 1987 in the Trust House 40 mile at Sandown. He ran gallantly as always, but age, and in this case vertige, were catching up with him.
And it's Teleprompter with a 3-length advantage. Hadir is the nearest challenger. Tokamadera is third. Vertige making ground 4. Vague Shot on the outside making ground in 5th. Just over 2 to race. Teleprompter with a 2-length advantage. Hadir in second, a gap of a length back to Tokamadera. A close 4th is Vertige. Vague Shot 5. Grey Goddess making some ground, and then comes Star of a Gunner as they race now to the final furlong of the Trust House 40 mile. It's Teleprompter with 2 lengths advantage over Hadir. Vertige comes to challenge for second, but racing for the line. Teleprompter, Vertige goes second, but it's Teleprompter, Vertige and Teleprompter. Close home, Vertige, Teleprompter, Hadir.
That looked as if the principals would have a big say in the major events of the summer. It didn't turn out that way, whereas what seemed an ordinary race at Ascot at the end of the month actually threw up a dual classic winner. This was the first victory for Unite.
With a white cap. Then comes Island Charm and Bin Pasha as they swing for home with 2.5 furlongs left, and it's here that Mountain Memory goes on. Mountain Memory has taken up the running from In the Habit with Adria next. Then comes Ghanaium, Unite being produced for a run up on the outside by Walter Swinburne. Down towards the final furlong and a half, and In the Habit fighting back over on the inside rails. Not a lot to choose between In the Habit and Mountain Memory, but here comes Unite, and so it's Sheikh Mohammed with 2 in the first 3 at the moment. Racing into the final half furlong, and Unite and Walter Swinburne go on by a length from In the Habit, fighting back to take second place. Travelling fastest of all is Celtic Ring, coming flying through for third, but at the line it was Unite.
Unite was one new star, and now another, for the Pretty Polly Stakes at Newmarket showed us that Indian Skimmer was to be something extra special.
With Sanibel leading the group on the far side in the centre of the track, and these are just about ahead. Portalen were by about a length from Indian Skimmer in second. Known Line is just behind these, and they're followed by Sher Bella. On the far side of the course, still Percy's Lass now, who's gone past Shining Water, and Lady Bentley, but Indian Skimmer at the bushes quickly goes clear with a 3-length advantage with 2 furlongs to run. Indian Skimmer the leader from Percy's Lass and Lady Bentley. Then after these, Portalen and Known Line. Down now to the final furlong, an Indian Skimmer with a good 3-length advantage. Percy's Lass is second, a good 5 lengths clear of a group consisting of Lady Bentley and Blessed Event, but going for the line, Indian Skimmer, several lengths clear of Percy's Lass.
Indian Skimmer looked so good that we were left wondering what would happen if she'd been put in against the established classic candidates in the 1,000 guineas itself. Mind you, that was a quarter-mile shorter trip, and there was Miesk.
Invited guest is in third, then comes Amber Cookie 4, Hiam is 5, towards the outside is Mamoona, on the inside is Reha, then in behind these comes Miesk, and then toward the rear of the field are Minstrella and Milligram and Interval and Stay Low, try the Duchess as they race down towards the 5 furlong marker. Linda's Magic still the leader from Polonia in second. High Arm is third, then comes Invited Guest 4, and in behind these comes Amber Cookie, Miesk towards the outside, and Rahia.
So Linda's Magic towards the far side, still steadying a strong gallop. Upsides with her is Polonia towards the stand side, Invited Guest, and High Arm right behind them, and so too is Minstrella. Milligram going well, about 3 or 4 lengths off them as they race up now towards the final 3 furlongs of the 1,000 guineas. On the far side, Linda's Magic towards the stand side, the leading pair, Polonia. Close behind these, Invited Guest, Minstrella making a forward move, so too is Minstrella. Right behind these comes Miesk and Interval as they pass the bushes with 2 to run in the guineas, and it's Polonia who's now in front from Milligram on the stand side. Interval, then after these comes Miesk, who's got a lot to do, coming now to the final furlong, and Polonia coming under pressure. Interval on the stand side, Miesk on the stand side, these two going clear now of Milligram, Interval, Miesk, but close home, it's Miesk and Milligram very close from Interval.
If Miesk was a short price favourite who collected, in the 2,000 guineas, Ajdal was at ridiculous odds before failing behind Don't Forget Me. They went 6 to 5 Ajdal and 7 to 1 Bar. He didn't run badly, but he couldn't handle the closing battle and the blinding gallop set by Don't Forget Me.
They've got just over 6 furlongs to run, and Don't Forget Me, who's made virtually all, continues to lead. Ajdal has made very rapid progress from the rear, and now this is just behind the leaders. Don't Forget Me from Ajdal on the far rail. Lockton is still right there. They've got just under 5 furlongs to run. Don't Forget Me and Lockton amongst the leaders, together with Ajdal, and I return you to the grandstand.
So they race down now towards halfway, and Don't Forget Me continues to show just in front. Ajdal's not far behind. Lockton towards the far side is close up. Rich Charlie's well in touch as they race up now to the final 3.5 furlongs up the rising ground. Don't Forget Me continuing to show just in front of Rich Charlie. On the far side, Ongoing Situation and Most Welcome, and Ajdal all coming with a steady run. Close behind these is Risk Me on the far side. But it's Don't Forget Me who continues to lead as they pass the bushes with 2 to go. Rich Charlie, Ajdal, Most Welcome. Then after these on the stand side, Deputy Governor and Midian as they come now to the final furlong of the 2,000 guineas with Don't Forget Me still the leader. Don't Forget Me's made every yard and he's still in front. Most Welcome, Bellotto on the stand side and going for the line. Don't Forget Me, Bellotto, Most Welcome on the far side, and Ajdal close home. Don't Forget Me.
Most Welcome, of course, disqualified for bumping Ajdal in the final furlong, and at this stage most people puzzled about their futures. Derby trials now, and the only worries about Legal Bid were whether he'd get round the bends at Lingfield. He almost skidded off at the first turn. Although he never got the bit back in his mouth, he galloped the others legless at the finish.
Kingdom, who in consequence got a little closer, and the trio are clear of the others, led by Eben Bay. After Eben Bay is Thameen, Water Boatman, Roundlet under pressure, finally Shane. So 2 furlongs for these leaders. It's Legal Bid, Chantaroon closer on the outside, and after this one, Mountain Kingdom in quite close company, just a couple of lengths away. Big gap then to Thameen and Eben Bay, who dispute 4th. But the leaders inside the final furlong now, and it's Legal Bid who's led from the start. Half a furlong now, Legal Bid holding on well and up to the line. Legal Bid holding on. Mountain Kingdom makes a run for second.
For home.
Legal Bid's trainer Henry Cecil was into one of his many purple patches, and at York the following week the stable kept on. First with Indian Skimmer in the Musidora, and then with the convalesced reference point in the Mercadante.
Over 3 to go. Bourbon Girl and Mountain Memory pretty close together, and Indian Skimmer poised right behind them with 2.5 furlongs to race. Mountain Memory on the stand side, Bourbon Girl on the inner, and now Indian Skimmer being asked to quicken up and come and join them with 1.5 furlongs to go, and there's little to choose between Indian Skimmer, who very easily takes up the running, and going down to the furlong, Indian Skimmer has quickened 3 lengths clear in a matter of strides. Indian Skimmer 2 or 3 lengths clear. Good battle for the minor places between Bourbon Girl on the rails and Mountain Memory, but going for the line, Indian Skimmer just being eased from Bourbon Girl and Mountain Memory. Furlongs left to race in the Mercadante Stakes, and its reference point still with the advantage. Ninth Saga comes under pressure. Ascot Knight running on well, and on the outside Deputy Governor, then Gulf King, as they come down to the final 2 furlongs, with reference point still the leader. The challenger is Ascot Knight as they come to the final furlong and a half. Reference point maintains his advantage. Ascot Knight second, Percy Flair's third. Romantic Prince runs on well into 4 as they pass the furlong. Reference point maintains his advantage, about a length from Ascot Knight, and going for the line. Reference point, a length advantage. Ascot Knight's in second, Percy Flair's third, and Romantic Prince.
Now our first chance to compare the generations. Over a mile in the Lock-in Stakes at Newbury. The 2,000 guineas third Midian in against Teleprompter and Vertige, both of whom we've already seen, and then again making an impressive start to his year.
Vertige comes next, then Grand Harbour probably next with Risk Me, and on the far side Median, and after these Teleprompter. These all within 2 or 3 lengths, followed by Asteroid Field, who's closing with the leaders in fact. On the outside of this one, Hadir, close up also, and finally then again, and they've got 2 furlongs to race. So those in the centre going well away now, and Grand Harbour quickly back to last, and it is Vertige on the near side, Median coming to challenge now and closing quite fast. Then again, this one improves on the far side. Hadir moves into 4th place on the near side, and they come inside the distance, and it's then again on the far side who fairly sprints up into the last half a furlong. 50 yards now, and at the line, and it is then again who's just clear of that.
Over to Ireland now, and Don't Forget Me and Ajdal renewing battle, this time for the Irish 2,000 guineas. Don't Forget Me blazing the way as usual, and Ajdal once again flattering only to deceive.
Just the leader from Baba Karam, Island Reef on the inner, big shuffle towards the outside, then Ajdal just in behind these with Stately Dawn, then Entitled, and they've left Camp Light some way behind. They're past the 3 furlong marker now in the Irish 2,000 guineas, and Don't Forget Me is the leader. Willie Carson in the centre of the track from Baba Karam, and big shuffle towards the outer. Ajdal moving up smoothly just in behind the leader. Stately Dawn putting in a run. Island Reef has dropped back. They're inside the last 2 furlongs now, and it's Don't Forget Me the leader from big shuffle. Ajdal still travelling smoothly, and Entitled running on really well on the outside. Inside the final furlong now, and Don't Forget Me's the leader with Entitled wide. Ajdal towards the far side. Don't Forget Me's the leader in the guineas. Entitled's running on really well under Declan Gillespie on the near side, but Don't Forget Me's going to make it as they go to the line. Don't Forget Me completes the guineas double. Entitled is second, Ajdal is third.
Ajdal actually finished third, but was disqualified because the jockey didn't weigh in. No such worries for Oaks Hope's Scimitara, who began this year even more impressively than she finished last season. This was the Loopy Stakes at Goodwood.
Making good progress, as also his known line. Saint-Ajoie making headway up on the outside. 3.5 furlongs to run, and it's the early leader, Bint Pasha, back in front, with Iosipha chasing her in second. Invited Guest now 3. White Mischief is making ground just on the outside of known line. Ileona is dropping back. Nettle not finding much, nor is Back to Light, nor Blessed Event. Into the final quarter, and up front there are 4 fillies in it. Bint Pasha, and now White Mischief with Iosipha, and then Scimitara making ground very fast on the outside, below the distance, and Scimitara coming right through now. Scimitara coming through fastest of all with Steve Cauthen to take it up from Bint Pasha. Close home, it's going to be one for Steve Cauthen, and Scimitara pulling clear of Bint Pasha. Iosipha, the fast finishing Trojan mare.
Now the closest classic finish of the season, the Irish 1,000 guineas. Billy Graham, an even money favourite to frank the English guineas form, a little Forest Flower getting one moment of glory for her own and her stable's disappointing year.
Billy Graham tracking them. Final moment is next in 5th, then comes Forest Flower, then Minstrella. They're followed towards the outside by Polonia. They're racing down now past the 3 furlong marker, and Rose Supreme coming under pressure, taking steps, disputing the lead. Milligram going well, then Indian Lily. Final moment is next, Cipriani towards the inner, then towards the outside Polonia, then Minstrella. Forest Flower is boxed in, then Native Sal, Calarama in rear. They're passing the 2 furlong pole now on the Irish 1,000, and Milligram. Wallace Swinburne comes through to take it up from taking steps. Polonia throwing down a challenge on the outside. Forest Flower trying to work her way through. Minstrella poised for lots of challenge. They're a furlong down, and Milligram is the leader from Forest Flower. Cipriani taking steps, and Minstrella and Polonia are inside the final furlong.
Next, it's Derby Day and Reference Point, a red-hot favourite, and it's clear from these early stages that the opposing jockeys had decided that the one way to beat him was to take him on from the start. It was the fastest first quarter mile ever run.
Understand his orders, and they're off. And they race for the 1987 Derby in the very early stages. Reference Point is one of the first to go on, followed by Legal Bid towards the outside, Percy Fleur and Al Wazmi towards the inside, Water Boatman. So they cover the first furlong with Reference Point settling down to make the running from Water Boatman in second. Ibn Bay is third, Al Wazmi four, close behind these on the far side. Ascot Knight towards the inside, tracking the leaders is Sir Harry Lewis, followed by Love the Groom. Towards the rear of the field on the outside is Ajdal racing with Percy Fleur and Most Welcome. Then comes Bellotto and Love the Groom with Sajid some way behind. So they race up now towards the point, about a mile from home, and Reference Point continuing to show in front. Reference Point from Ibn Bay on the inside in second. Then comes Ascot Knight, and then after these in third on the outside, Ajdal racing together with Water Boatman on the inner, and close behind these in six is Legal Bid, followed by Love the Groom, seven, Sir Harry Lewis, eight, and then Al Wazmi, who's lost ground from the early stages. They pass the 7 furlong marker with Reference Point still showing just in front of Ibn Bay in second and Ascot Knight.
By now, Reference Point had beaten his opponents, but could such a long-striding, difficult-to-balance colt conquer the course? Just count the number of times he changes his legs in the straight as he battles for the line.
Most Welcome has made ground towards the leaders to dispute third on the outside with Ibn Bay. Ajdal right on their heels. Legal Bid in six, Sir Harry Lewis seven. And racing down now with under half a mile to go into Tattenham Corner. As they race into the straight, it's Reference Point showing a length and a half in front of Ascot Knight. Ajdal is in third, close behind these Ibn Bay on the rails. On the outside, Legal Bid starting a challenge with Sir Harry Lewis. Then comes Percy Fleur, Bellotto making a forward move. So too is Entitled and also Groom Dancer. Coming down now to the final 2.5 furlongs. And Reference Point's made virtually every yard of the running. He's gone 2 lengths clear. Most Welcome is second, putting in a challenge. Ascot Knight is third. Then after these, Bellotto, Love the Groom on the rails. And then Entitled and inside the final furlong at Reference Point, being strongly challenged by Most Welcome. Bellotto is third. Sir Harry Lewis fourth and going for the line. Reference Point's the leader. Going to the line 100 yards. Reference Point. Most Welcome's in second. Bellotto's third. And Sir
Sometimes recently the Coronation Cup has hardly justified its title. But this year we didn't just have Rakaposhi King and the German champion Akatanango, we had Triptyque.
To challenge for third with Akatanango. Nisnas out of it now in fifth. They've got 2.5 to race. Rakaposhi King maintains his advantage. Triptyque's got a length and a half to make up. She's in second. Maysoon has gone third. Akatanango on the stand side 4. And they've got a furlong and a half to go in the Coronation Cup. And Triptyque comes to take it up. As they come to the furlong, it's Triptyque. Triptyque's gone clear now of Rakaposhi King in second. In third, Akatanango, but it's Triptyque who goes clear. Triptyque and Rakaposhi King, Akatanango's third. Maysoon 4, and going for the line, Triptyque maintains her advantage. Close for second between...
That's one star filly, here's another. Unite winning the Oaks, but only after a tragic, although not fatal accident, to the unlucky Scimitara.
Sakura Raiko is one of those who's prominent towards the outside. Balabina, and it's Balabina who goes on at a fairly modest pace from Mountain Memory, Sakura Raiko on the staff, and Unite on the far side, and in the mid-division group towards the side nearer to us comes Bourbon Girl racing together with Three Tails. Just in front of Three Tails is Bint Pasha as they race uphill now towards the 9 furlong marker, I should say. Balabina leads from in second place. Mountain Memory on the outside, gone into second, is on the staff. Mountain Memory now third, Bint Pasha 4. Scimitara's gone up fifth on the outside, a gap of 2 or 3 lengths then to Bourbon Girl. Just behind these comes Honey Line as they race round towards the point about 7 furlongs from home. At the top of the hill and beginning to force the pace is On the Staff from Ballabina in second. Close behind these, Scimitara lies in third, with Unite on the outside disputing third. These have gone 2 or 3 lengths clear of Mountain Memory in 5. Secura Raiko is 6 halfway down the field. Honey Lines making ground towards the field, and in front of that one is Bourbon Girl. Towards the rear of the field now Braccarina, and in front of Braccarina Bint Pasha. Past halfway and downhill towards the 5, with On the Staff now leading by nearly 2 lengths from Scimitara in second place. Close behind Scimitara is Unite, then a gap of a length to Mountain Memory in 4. Then after these, Secura Raiko making forward move towards the outside of Bourbon Girl. These have gone clear of 3 tails and a long gap back to Honey Line and Bint Pasha. Into the straight, just over 3 to race. On the Staff on the rails. Scimitara 1 off the rails and Unite on the outside of that one. These 3 are clear of Bourbon Girl and Secura Raiko, Mountain Memory and 3 tails as they come to the last 2.5 furlongs in the Oaks, and it's Scimitara and Unite who strike the front together. It's Unite in the centre who goes on from Scimitara. Finishing very well is Bourbon Girl. Under pressure on the rails is On the Staff, but it's Unite who's gone clear, and Scimitara's pulled up as they come now to the final furlong. It's Unite from Bourbon Girl in second. Bint Pasha's finishing well, going for the line. Unite is well clear. Bourbon Girl's in second, 3 tails in third.
From one Oaks to another, and the long-awaited clash between Liesque, the Star of France, and Indian Skimmer, the grey flash to whom Chantilly's testing mile on the quarter proved much more suitable.
They come down towards the 2 furlong marker, and Indian Skimmer comes up to challenge the loose and take up the running. Steve Cauthen asks the filly to quicken up, and she bursts clear. Indian Skimmer now 3 lengths in front. Liesque moves into second place. On the outside is Bint al-Nazar. Still making progress is Mazmouda, but down towards the final furlong, Indian Skimmer 4 lengths clear of Liesque in second. Mazmouda on the outside challenges Bint al-Nazar for third, but up towards the line now, Indian Skimmer is well clear. Indian Skimmer wins the Prix d'Anne from Liesque in second, and in third is Mazmouda.
Royal Ascot began with another important victory for Then Again. He may have been odds on, but he had to work. He was in against Teleprompter and Sonic Lady, but the real danger came from the 14-to-1 shot, Water Key.
On the outside of Flower Bowl, tucked in just after these 3 in the yellow jacket. That's the favourite Then Again. Up on the outside, Sia Carlem. Into the final 2.5 furlongs, and Sonic Lady now beginning her run. And in fact, they're all beginning to bunch up as they race now towards the final quarter of a mile in the Queen Anne Stakes, with Water Key now coming to dispute it with the long-time leader Teleprompter. Then Again being unleashed for his effort now. Sonic Lady, though, gets first run on the favourite, in fact, as they come down now towards the distance, and Sonic Lady coming to challenge Water Key. It's Water Key and Sonic Lady, with Then Again being produced for his effort on the outside into the final half furlong. Water Key being strongly pressed by Then Again, and the favourite Then Again with Ray Cochrane goes on close home. It's Then Again the favourite for Water Key.
One race later, a second appearance, and an impressive one, of a horse who at his best was to cut them all down at 1.25 miles. But Toto in the Prince of Wales Stakes.
Beginning a forward move towards the centre of the track is Toto, followed by Bengal Fire, Star Cutter and Amerigo Vespucci. With 2 furlongs remaining, it's Maysoon still the leader. Maysoon from Toto, who challenges, and a furlong from home, a furlong and a half from home. It's Toto who goes on. Amerigo Vespucci's in second. These 2 have drawn clear now of Jezida. Maysoon back in 4, and well inside the final furlong. Toto with a clear advantage, at least 2 lengths, and going for the line. Toto is clear of Amerigo Vespucci, with Jezida in third and Maysoon in
Toto still had his biggest day ahead of him, but for the Guineas hero Don't Forget Me, the winning run was to end at Ascot. He was odds on for the St James's Palace Stakes, but couldn't handle Risk Me, Soviet Star, and the brilliant, but not to be seen again, Half a Year.
And it's Don't Forget Me against the rails, who still has the advantage, but Risk Me is not far behind. Soviet Star is being produced for his run. Then comes Glory Forever and Half a Year into the final furlong and a half. And Pat Edery still has Don't Forget Me in front, but Risk Me is looking dangerous now. So too is Soviet Star, and Half a Year is coming strongly on the inside. In fact, the four leaders are all bunching up as they enter the final furlong and racing into the final half furlong, and Half a Year going best of all on the inside now. And it's Half a Year and Ray Cocker on the inside who are going to get there. Half a Year it is from Soviet Star, Risk Me, and Don't Forget Me.
Half a Year looked good, but arguably the most impressive performance of the whole meeting was that of Millie Graham in the Coronation Stakes. She may have been beaten in both the English and Irish Guineas, but as later in the year at Ascot, she showed that when she was right, there was hardly anything to touch her.
Martha Stevens still 3. Millie Graham, though, has made ground to go up on the outside of Shakir to dispute 4th, and some way behind now is Indian Lily. Now they're making the turn for home in this Coronation Stakes, and into the straight, and it's At Risk who's the first in line for home, followed by High Arm, the early leader. Millie Graham is closing fast on the outside in company with Martha Stevens. Shakir is poised only just behind the leaders. Indian Lily is last. Inside the final quarter, and it's here that the favourite goes on. Millie Graham has taken up the running now. Millie Graham and Walter Swinburne have swept into the lead, a clear lead at that, coming down towards the distance, and it's Millie Graham, the runner-up in both the English and Irish Guineas, who is clear now, and coming home a long, long way clear of Shakir, Martha Stevens, At Risk, and then High Arm and Indian Lily in that order. But close home, it's the favourite, Millie Graham and Walter Swinburne, well clear.
Royal Ascot is famous for its golden days, but it has also had monsoon times, and Pian's Gold Cup was one of them. This is one of the great races of the year, but in 1987 the ground ended so soft that, quite literally, there was only one horse galloping at the finish.
Staying on well in third, Valuable Witness is being produced for his effort, but he's still several lengths behind the leader. Only a furlong and a half to go, and it's Pian, and it looks as though Steve Cauthen has made the right choice here. Steve Cauthen and Pian now pulling several lengths clear of Sadim, Saronicus and Valuable Witness, but as they race up towards the line, it looks like the 5th Gold Cup for trainer Henry Cecil, the 2nd for jockey Steve Cauthen, as Pian comes home unchallenged to win the Gold Cup, many, many lengths clear of Sadim, Saronicus and Valuable Witness.
It was soft on Thursday, it was boggy on Friday, absolutely not the conditions for a major sprint like the King's Stand Stakes. But it's the same for all, and while it took the winner Bluebird a full 65 seconds to cover the 5 furlongs, that was an awful lot quicker than the rest.
Showing ahead of Governor General and Whipper in towards the stand side. Clan Time is almost up with them towards the centre, followed by Pyrian. And towards the outside of the group, Carol's Treasure shows just ahead of Bluebird. Then after these comes Singing Stephen as they come to the halfway point. 2.5 to go. And Clan Time, 3 off the rails. Pyrian towards his inside. Flawless Image just marginally ahead of these. Carol's Treasure. Bluebird starting a steady run up the outside. And Gayan is also running on. They've got a furlong and a half to go in the King's Stand Stakes. And Bluebird comes to take it up from Pyrian inside the final furlong. And Bluebird and Pyrian, the 2 leaders from Flawless Image, Orient and Clan Time. But inside the final furlong, it's Bluebird with a clear advantage, at least 2 lengths as they go to the line. Bluebird is clear, Pyrian's in second, Orient's in third, close home, and it's Bluebird from Pyrian.
The last race of Royal Ascot added a footnote in racing history. The first winner of the meeting to be ridden by a woman, Gay Kellaway on Sproston Boy. Soon the city giggles about galloping Lady Godivas will be just a memory.
Well clear of their rivals as they turn into the straight with 2.5 to race, and Sproston Boy with a 2-length advantage should never be is in second. White Clover's in third, in fourth Navog, and these 4 a long way clear. They've got a furlong and a half to race, and Sproston Boy with a clear advantage. Should never be's making no ground in second. White Clover's in third, Navog's in 4, and as they come to the final furlong, Gay Kellaway could be the first lady to win a race at Royal Ascot. Sproston Boy striding away as they go to the line. A good race for the minor places between Navog on the stand side and Should Never Be. White Clover's in 4 on the line. Sproston Boy is clear behind these. Navog, Should Never Be.
50 minutes late. They're in and they're racing at last in the Irish Derby with Sir Harry Lewis, one of
The richest classic of the season was the Budweiser-sponsored Irish Derby, and with Nahis third in the French Derby and most welcome second in the English, it brought together the international throng. But with dreadfully soft going, it turned into a slogging match, and the honours went to the Epsom fourth, the boldly named Sir Harry Lewis.
And the back marker of the 8 is Dollar Seeker as they complete the first quarter mile, and Entitled moves up into second place behind his stablemate Golden Isle. Sir Harry Lewis is running third, Nahis in 4. 5 is Van Vitelli, then Sajid and Most Welcome and Dollar Seeker grouped together. They've covered 3 furlongs, and Golden Isle by 3/4 of a length from Entitled in second. In third place is Sir Harry Lewis. Behind Sir Harry Lewis in 4 is Nahis. Behind Nahis comes Van Vitelli. Sajid next on the inside of Most Welcome, and the back marker, but only just Dollar Seeker as they race along now down the far side of the course, beginning the uphill climb, and Golden Isle is 2 in front of Entitled. Van Vitelli, Mickanan in third. 4th place on the outside, Sir Harry Lewis. 5th on the inner is the French Derby third, Nahis. They're followed by Dollar Seeker, has improved 2 places. Then Most Welcome and Sajid the back marker, but compared with Epsom, where he was so far behind in the early stages, he's bang in contention as they race along now towards the halfway stage, and a little over 6 lengths covering the 8-runner field. Golden Isle the leader, Van Vitelli in second. In third place on the inside is Entitled. They're followed in 4th place on the outer by Sir Harry Lewis. Nahis is next, and behind Nahis comes Dollar Seeker with Most Welcome. Sajid on the inner, racing towards the 5 marker now. Declan Gillespie, Golden Isle in the lead. Van Vitelli second. In third place on the outer is Sir Harry Lewis. 4 on the inner, Entitled. Behind Entitled comes Nahis. They're followed by Dollar Seeker, and behind Dollar Seeker Sajid. Most Welcome, the Epsom Derby runner-up, is the back marker of the 8. They're passing the half-mile pole now, and it's Van Vitelli and Michael Cannan in the blinkers who hit the front. The maiden Van Vitelli from the Epsom Derby 4th, Sir Harry Lewis gone second. Golden Isle has dropped out. Nahis is in third. Then on the inside is Entitled. Then comes Dollar Seeker, Most Welcome, Sajid. Golden Isle has dropped right out to the rear. They're racing down the straight. They've 2.5 furlongs to cover, and it's Van Vitelli, the leader, from Sir Harry Lewis in second. They're followed by Nahis on the outside. Then Dollar Seeker, Entitled is next. They're racing now with 1.5 furlongs to cover, and Sir Harry Lewis strikes the front now. Sir Harry Lewis and John Reid in the lead, followed in second place on the near side by Nahis, then Entitled and Van Vitelli. Most Welcome and Sajid are well beaten. Inside the last furlong, Sir Harry Lewis is the leader from Nahis on the near side. Sir Harry Lewis is in front by 1.5 lengths or so, and Sir Harry Lewis is going to win the Derby for Barry Hills as they race up towards the line. Sir Harry Lewis wins the Budweiser Irish Derby.
People may have tried to decry the form of this Irish Derby, but it's hard to rubbish the status of the next week's Eclipse Stakes at Sandown. Just remember the horses it brought together. There was Milligram, Bellotto, Triptyque, complete with attacking pacemaker Media Starguest, Reference Point, who was harried from the start, and Matoto, who finished with a knockout punch.
And Triptyque starting her run up the rails as they come now towards the 3 furlong marker in the Coral Eclipse, and it's Reference Point with a 2-length advantage. Media Starguest is wide. Toto challenging up the centre. Milligram comes next with Triptyque. Bellotto's under pressure as they come to the final 2, and it's Reference Point with the advantage. Toto the challenger. Triptyque's in third, Milligram 4, Bellotto 5, and as they race now to the final furlong, and it's Reference Point being strongly challenged by Toto. Reference Point and Toto, and it's Toto getting the advantage. Triptyque's in third and going to the line. Toto and Reference Point. It's Toto with the advantage. Reference Point second, closer, and Toto wins it from Reference Point.
This is the time of year when the mid-season championship takes shape, and a major challenger for honours emerged when Celestial Storm reappeared in the Princess of Wales Stakes at Newmarket. He was favourite, but it wasn't just the fact but the style of his success that was important.
On the rails, then comes Dry Dock towards the outside. Fardante and Celestial Storm is finishing very well as they come to the final furlong and a half, and it's Celestial Storm who comes to take it up from Mountain Kingdom on the stand side. Now gone into second is Fardante. Dry Dock's third, Mountain Kingdom 4, and racing for the line. Celestial Storm with a good 1.5 lengths, 2 lengths advantage. Fardante's in second. Close home, and Celestial Storm is clear of Fardante.
Celestial Storm looking good. A day later, the Child Stakes saw Sonic Lady get back into the winning groove. But the expected duel with the clearly out-of-form Forest Flower never materialised, and the actual finish with Shakaya was a lot too close for comfort.
Her outside on the stand side, Forest Flower. Close behind them, Shakir, less than a length. And upsides with that one on the rail is White Mischief. So they race down now to the final 2 furlongs, and they're really quickening up now, and it's Sonic Lady with the advantage. She's held all but the first furlong and a half. Sonic Lady with Shaikir, the challenger. Forest Flowers back in third, White Mischief 4. They come now to the final furlongs of the Child Stakes, and it's Sonic Lady. The challenger is Shaikir, and these two have drawn 4 or 5 lengths clear of Forest Flower and White Mischief, and going for the line. Sonic Lady maintaining the advantage. She won it last year. She's going to win it again. Sonic Lady, Shaikir. Well, Ajdal was one of the quickest to break.
Newmarket's July meeting also saw the July Stakes, another round in the sprinting championships, and one of the great turnarounds of recent years. Last time out, we had seen Ajdal in the Derby over 1.5 miles, and here he was back to 6 furlongs, half that distance, up against such proven flyers as Bluebird and Gayan. But this, clearly, was where he belonged.
He's towards the centre of the group. Towards the stand side comes Gayan, followed by Ginny Binny, then Sharp Romance, A Prayer for Wings on the far side, Rich Charlie just in front of that one, and then comes Cricket Ball about 3 lengths off the leaders towards the stand side. So they come well past the halfway point now, and Gayan has the advantage on the stand side. Gayan from Ajdal, then just behind these comes Rich Charlie, and then Bluebird starting a run on the far rails. As they come now to the final furlong, it's Ajdal and Gayan. Ajdal leads by a length, Gayan is second, Bluebird is third, Rich Charlie 4. And well inside the final furlong, it's Ajdal maintaining his advantage, going for the line. It's going to be close between Ajdal, Gayan.
There were no problems in knowing where Unite's métier lay. She renewed her Epsom Oaks rivalry with Bourbon Girl in the Irish equivalent, and once again showed that there was nothing better of her generation at that distance.
Challenge on the outside, just in behind these towards the inner is Skyninsky, and behind Skyninsky is Diamond Seal, racing now towards the straight. They've just over 3 furlongs to cover, and Eurobird is the leader. From Unite in second, Faraway Pastures in third. Bourbon Girl begins her challenge now on the outside. Skyninsky's gone 5th. Queensbridge has lost her position. They're racing down now towards the 2 furlong marker, and it's Eurobird with Unite on the outside. Bourbon Girl launching her challenge. They've 2 to race, and it's Eurobird headed now by Unite, with Bourbon Girl coming to challenge on the outside, and the trio clear of Faraway Pastures and Hawaiian Peace. A furlong and a half out in the Giltown Stud Irish Oaks. Unite is lengthening well now from Bourbon Girl in second, and third is Eurobird, and they're clear of Faraway Pastures, and Unite's the leader, striding clear. Bourbon Girl trying to get on terms, but racing inside the last 150 yards. Unite is going to complete the double, racing up to the line. Unite is going to win it for Michael Stout and Walter Swinburne. Unite's won the Irish Oaks by about 3 lengths.
Unite's great run came to an unhappy halt next time out in the King George at Ascot. It may have been soft ground, but this was very much a midsummer championship with almost all the big names in contention. Bourbon Girl, Sir Harry Lewis, Akatanango, the Italian star Tony Bin, the St. Leger winner Moon Madness, Triptyque, Celestial Storm, and the horse who over this trip and in these conditions could gallop anything into the ground, Reference Point.
From Akatanango in second, then comes Sir Harry Lewis third, Celestial Storm making a forward move as they come now to the final furlong and a half, and Reference Point has a clear lead, and it's Triptyque who's come into second, Celestial Storm third, and as they go now to the final furlong, it's Reference Point with the advantage in the King George VI, and Queen Elizabeth Diamond. Reference Point 2.5 lengths clear. It's close for second between Triptyque and Celestial Storm, and going for the line, Reference Point close for second.
Winning runs are hard to sustain, and in Goodwood Sussex Stakes it was then again who had his problems, later diagnosed as back trouble. Whatever they were, he couldn't handle the closing stages, which saw the richest European success of the French Guineas winner, Soviet Star.
And making headway now is Fair Judgment. Then comes Soviet Star putting in a run as well. The favourite then again is some way off the pace. 2.5 to go, and it's here that Star Cutter takes it up. It's Starcutter now. Starcutter with Steve Cauthen, who's gone on into the lead, followed now in second by Fair Judgment. Here comes Soviet Star. So at the moment, Sheikh Mohammed has the first three, and it's Soviet Star finishing best. Hadir is coming with a bit of run on the outside, but it's Soviet Star up on the outside. Starcutter against the rails, and then comes Fair Judgment and Hadir racing up to the line, and it's Greville, Starkey and Soviet Star, with Starcutter putting in a renewed effort. Hadir.
New races, especially with grand titles like the Schweppes Golden Mile, don't always attract either big fields or good horses. But at Goodwood, we got both elements when Wajib got the better of 19 opponents in a quite magnificent finish.
The rear is the favourite Chew Gent, who's got an awful lot to do. Into the final quarter, and it's Razali hanging on from first of all. Here comes Wajib with a run. De Rigueur is also closing down below the distance, and it's Razali from Wajib up on the outside, and Wajib is just cutting up. Wajib and Michael Roberts on the outside of Razali. Not a lot between the two, with Boot Polish finishing best of all, but it's going to be Wajib and Michael Roberts from Boot.
Imitating a genius is always a dangerous thing, and that's why apprentices are told not to copy the way Pat Edery rides in a finish. But watch him on Moon Madness in Newbury's Geoffrey Freer Stakes. It may be unusual, almost ungainly at times, but it's quite uniquely effective.
These two just clear of Moon Madness in third, and Fardante making his run up the rails as they come to the final 2 furlongs, and it's still Legal Bid. Legal Bid gets a reminder there. Ibn Bay comes under pressure. Fardante's coming with a splendid run on the far rail. Moon Madness is going nowhere as they come now to the final furlong, and it's still Legal Bid, and now Moon Madness is starting a move. Legal Bid with Moon Madness now the challenger. Inside the furlong, it's Legal Bid. Moon Madness the challenger on the stand side, and going for the line, it's very, very close. Moon Madness with the advantage, Legal Bid with the advantage. It's very close, but possibly just Moon Madness.
Triptyque seemed to run in every top middle distance race, and sure enough, she was out again in the Matchmaker International at York. It was her 5th Group 1 race of the season, but with the soft going she loves and with Ascot Knight to give her the lead she likes, the result was never in doubt for a second.
Ascot Knight still from Motley, then comes Triptyque, Sir Harry Lewis, Ali Milor still there. These are followed by Shady Heights. The last two are Show Me Air and finally Sharp Noble. So the two outsiders right at the back of the field, which is now headed by Ascot Knight. It's Ascot Knight and Walter Swinburne in the lead. Coming down to the distance, Ascot Knight. But here comes the French mare Triptyque, and Triptyque coming with a rare rattle on the outside. Steve Cauthen to take it up, but it's Triptyque going on into the final half furlong. Triptyque sprinting away clear. This great 5-year-old coming home in the mud at York from Ascot Knight, Sir Harry Lewis. Good headway now.
Triptyque at her best oozes class, but for Bint Pasha, the strongest quality is toughness. Never better demonstrated than when she slugged her way home in the Yorkshire Oaks from Blessed Event, Bourbon Girl, and the favourite Three Tails.
Challenged by Pat Edery as they race now down inside the final quarter of a mile, and it's still Bint Pasha from Blessed Event, Bourbon Girl, these three clear of Debich Delight and the favourite Three Tails, who's got an awful lot to do. Down towards the distance, and Bint Pasha is still a good leader in the Yorkshire Oaks. Bint Pasha some 2 to 3 lengths up on Blessed Delight in second place, and that's the way they're going to finish as they race up towards the line. It's going to be Bint Pasha and Richard Quinn from Blessed Event and Cash Asmussen, these two clear.
Ajdal had been a revelation in the July Cup over 6 furlongs, but in the William Hill Sprint Championship he was back to the minimum 5, up against specialist sprinters, and yet he was always too fast for them.
Now going third in 4 on the wide. Outside is Perrion after these Clan Time dropping back. And then comes Tenu de Soiree, and Bluebird, the favourite's got a lot to do. He's last but 2. They're inside the final furlong and a half, and Walter Swinburne has Ajdal in front still. Ajdal with up on the outside, Perrion coming through strongly, then Sizzling Melody, Come On Chase Me, and then for France La Grande Epoque, but it's Ajdal. Ajdal, a good leader in the Sprint Championship, racing up the line. Ajdal and Walter Swinburne.
We'd last seen Milligram weakening dramatically over 1.25 miles in the Eclipse Stakes. But back to 8 furlongs in the Waterford Crystal Mile, she showed again that she was very, very good at her right trip.
Take closer order as they come down towards past the 3 furlong marker. Risk Me being joined quite easily now by Star Cutter on the outside, and it's Star Cutter who takes it up with 2.5 furlongs to go. Star Cutter now the leader from Risk Me. Milligram and Wajib are making their ground towards the centre of the course as they come down now to the final furlong and a half, and it's Star Cutter being challenged by Milligram. Wajib trying to get on terms in third, but they're going into the final furlong, and it's Milligram who gets ahead in front. Wajib on the stand side, Star Cutter on the far side, but it's the filly Milligram going for the line. Milligram's the leader. Milligram is clear, and it's close for second. At this point, and then there's a
Milligram had even better days ahead of her, but for Bellotto, also second in the Guineas, the season of promise was not to be fulfilled. He was 5-4 favourite for Kempton's September Stakes, but couldn't handle the closing stages, of which Nocando took charge.
Now starting a steady run towards the centre of the course as they straighten for home. 2.5 to go, and Show Me Here towards the centre of the track. Jezida on the rails. Bellotto making steady headway as they pass the 2 furlong marker. Knock and Do making ground towards them as they come now to the final furlong and a half, and it's Jezida who's quick and clear of Show Me Here, and going into second now Knock and Do. Bellotto in 4 inside the final furlong. Knock and Do on the stand side comes to challenge and take it up, and going for the line. Knock and Do's quick and a length clear. Knock and Do from Jezida in second, Grand Tours in third. On the line, it's Knock and Do.
Ajdal at least ended his British season on a high note. He was out again in the Vernon Sprint at Haydock, opposed by Interval amongst others. But on his right form, nothing could match Ajdal for sheer speed.
Coming to challenge Governor General. These two from Handsome Sailor over towards the far side. Interval with a pink cap towards the near side. Then comes Sharp Romance over on the far side with Polycratis. As Mr. Majestic loses a bit of ground, and then comes Whippet. They've got a furlong and a half to race, and it's Ajdal now who's gone on into the lead from Handsome Sailor. Interval towards the near side. Sharp Romance over on the far side, and then comes Polycratis, and Governor General drops out of it as they race inside the final furlong, and it's Ajdal with the advantage from Handsome Sailor. Sharp Romance coming over on the far side, but Ajdal with the advantage and goes 2 lengths clear as they come up towards the line. Ajdal's going to win it from Sharp Romance at the line. Ajdal wins it from Sharp Romance and Handsome Sailor.
The prize for the most convoluted big race title in 1987 was handsomely won by the Dunn Stores St Bernard Phoenix Champion Stakes. It may have been a long title, but the result only needed one familiar name, Triptyque.
Michael blinkered on the rails, then broken-hearted Dark Colours outside. Dark Colours white cap, that's Fair Judgment. Just behind these invited guests, Triptyque is just in picture on the rails as they race down now towards the 3 furlong point. Risk Me in the lead in the Champion Stakes from Entitled. Coming to challenge Broken-hearted is next, then Motley, then Fair Judgment, and Triptyque is beginning to run on really well. They're racing towards the 2 pole now. Entitled on the outside of Risk Me. Triptyque has moved up on the heels of the leaders. Here comes Ascot Knight on the outside, then Motley. Then making a run to Cockney last. They've just over a furlong to race, and it's Entitled, the leader, being tackled on the inside by Triptyque. Ascot Knight is next, then Cockney last, but Triptyque has gone through on the inside of Entitled. Neck and neck inside the final furlong. Triptyque hits the front from Entitled, a half a length up now. Triptyque and Tony Cruz as they race up to the line in the Dunstores Phoenix Champion Stakes. Triptyque is going to win it at the 3rd attempt. Go to the line. Triptyque wins it cleverly by...
The St Leger has had its critics in recent years, but it still tends to draw the top horse, and did again this September when Reference Point set out to go all the way over Doncaster's extended 14 furlongs. He won all right, but he never made things look easy.
In front of Dry Dock, with King of Mercia going strongly on the inside in 3rd. Waterfield moves up to join Mountain Kingdom. These dispute 4. In 6th place is Love the Groom, and remaining the back marker Gulf King. Now the field is turning into the final straight. They've got less than 5 furlongs to run, and Reference Point leads. He's the first in line for home, coming towards the 4 furlong pole now. Reference Point the leader, with Dry Dock in second. After these two, Mountain Kingdom running on strongly. 3.5 furlongs to race in the St Leger, and it's Reference Point still with Steve Cauthen. Mountain Kingdom, though, coming strongly with Pat Edry now into second place. So it's reference point from then in second, Mountain Kingdom. Dry Dock back in third. Waterfield is fourth. Into the final quarter of a mile, and Reference Point is in front still. Reference Point bidding to make all the running. In second place, and a definite second is Mountain Kingdom. Dry Dock hanging on in third. Then Waterfield. The last three are King of Mercia, followed by Love the Groom and Gulf King, who's always been last. And Steve Cauthen gets to work now, raises his stick on Reference Point, but he's holding Mountain Kingdom and running up towards the line. Racing up towards the line. It's going to be Reference Point winning the St. Leger, his second classic.
British horses had a great year abroad in 1987, and Longchamp's Prix Vermeil gave us the first two home when Bint Pasha courageously held off Three Tails in a protracted battle to the line.
They hit the home turn now. It's still Pat Edry in front on Bint Pasha, keeping up this relentless gallop with a lead of some 3 lengths. Blessed Event now weakens as Three Tails comes up on the outside. Corrida still there on the inside with Birthday Fever, and looking for a run against the rails is Teresa. But inside the final furlong now, and Bint Pasha is clear from Three Tails and Corrida. Something True making late progress, but inside the final 100 yards now, and Bint Pasha still clear of Three Tails. Then comes Something True just in front of Corrida, and behind these Teresa.
The first festival of British racing at Ascot was blessed with a sunny day, happy crowds, and as a centrepiece, the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes. The French star Miesque was freely expected to confirm her 1,000 guineas defeat of Milligram. But while this was probably not Miesque's day, it was certainly Milligram's.
Side, just behind Milligram, who takes it off Verdant Boy. So they're coming now to the final furlong. Milligram's the leader, Miesque's in second. In third is Sonic Lady. Coming now to the final furlong, and it's Milligram and Miesque. Milligram holding Miesque. Sonic Lady's third and going for the line. It's Milligram, 2 lengths clear. And with 100 yards to go, Milligram, 2 lengths clear of Miesque, and close home. Milligram's the leader, Miesque.
Stayers don't get much stardom these days, and it was hard to find a hero in 1987. But don't let's take anything away from Buckley, who stepped up from handicapping class to win the Doncaster Cup and showed it to be no fluke next time out at Newmarket.
They're about to pass the bushes, and amongst the leaders, Sadim on the far rail, and Saronicus and Darkon coming to join them and take them, and as they run into the dip, it's Darkon that shows just ahead. Darkon from Sadim on the far side, and Sadim is weakening. Darkon from Saronicus, and then Lem Hill coming very strongly, just behind them Angel City, and then Buckley doing all his best work as they meet the rising ground. They've got a furlong to run, and this race could be wide open. Darkon, Buckley challenging, Lem Hill between them, and as they run to the line, it's Buckley that goes a length and a half clear. This one looks like maintaining the advantage all the way to the line, and at the line is Buckley from Darkon and Lem Hill.
Arc de Triomphe Day now, and the first of 2 shattering blows to what seemed to be banker bets for Britain. In the Prix l'Abbé, Ajdal was at one stage 20 to 1 on. Yet once the stalls opened, whether it was physical or mental fatigue, it was clear you could have had the same price against. And the finish concerned the Irish filly Polonia and the English colt Holgate, who had a serious case of traffic problems.
Getting nowhere, and it's Polonia still in front from on the inside like Grande Epoque. Fundraiser making ground on the outside, and now Pat Edry switching Holgate towards the inside. Coming with him is Tenue de Soiree. Inside the last 150 yards now, Polonia in front from La Grande Epoque, and Holgate's run is blocked on the inside, and Tenue de Soiree goes past him on the outside, but it's still Polonia in front for Ireland from La Grande Epoque in second, then comes Tenue de Soiree and Holgate in fourth.
Ajdal's defeat was comprehensive, but much worse was to follow. Reference Point, probably already feeling an abscess in his foot, couldn't ever dominate the Arc de Triomphe field like he wanted to. His later lameness was excuse enough, but the uneasy way Steve Cauthen insisted on keeping the lead even from the pacemaker Sharanaya suggests also that Reference Point's one flaw was that he had to be in front. But credit where it's due, on this day it was Trempolino who was the record breaker.
Trompolino and Tony Bin. But as they come now, 3 furlongs left to run. Reference Point and Charoneer. These two still dispute the lead from the Troon and Orban. Tabayan is on the outside in 5. Behind them comes Teresa and Triptyque. Then on the inside is Groom Dancer. Racing now 3 furlongs from home. Reference Point and Steve Cauthen. And Steve Cauthen having to push to keep Reference Point up there in front. Charoneer still not shaken off. Now Troon is in behind them. Then comes Orban and Triptyque and Groom Dancer. Also on the outside is Tabayan, and bursting through on his inside comes Trompolino. And Trompolino comes through to take up the running and go a couple of lengths clear from Triptyque in second. In behind these comes Tony Bin running on, making late progress. Then comes Toto. But inside the final 100 yards now, Trompolino clear from Tony Bin and Triptyque, and then comes Toto. But up towards the line, Trompolino's going to win the arc. Trompolino from Tony Bin in second. Triptyque is third and Toto is fourth.
Reference Point ending on a losing note. But in the Challenge Stakes at Newmarket, Asteroid Field showed the benefit of the morale boost winning can be. She'd seen something of a disappointment early in her career, but with a Goodwood victory behind her and more patient riding tactics, she looked a match for the best.
Of Midian on the outside, on the stand side, Asteroid Field is beginning to make ground on the inside. These 3 virtually in line now. From a Buzz on the far side, then comes Whippet, Vague Shot improving in behind them. Mephisto comes under pressure into the dip, and these 3 still across the course. Asteroid Field on the far side, Midian on the stand side, and weakening in between them is Faradula. But Asteroid Field quickens up and quickly goes a couple of lengths clear under Michael Hills. Asteroid Field quickening well up the hill, has it by 2 lengths from Midian, and Faradula fighting back, but it's Asteroid Field close for second.
The final race we show you from the older horses is, fittingly, another look at the queen of them all, the Iron Lady of Europe, call her what you will, Triptyque, with rain-softened ground and a horse to aim at over 1.25 miles. She can do that classiest of things. She makes it look easy.
Event on the far side, well native up the centre. Border range but now beginning to weaken. Improving
as they race up towards the bush. It's inside the final 3 furlongs now, and it's blessed event on the far rails, well native in the centre.
Most welcome on the outside. In between them is Seth-Smith. Triptyque still waiting in behind as Mill Native drops out of it. And coming now towards the final furlong, hitting the rising ground. Most welcome on the stand side in front. And now Triptyque and Tony Cruz, most upper gear, and Triptyque comes upsides to challenge Most Welcome for the lead, and quickly takes up the running. Triptyque storming clear up the hill. Triptyque from Most Welcome. These 2 are a long way in front of the late finishing St Andrews, but at the line, Triptyque is clear of Most Welcome in second. And then
Triptyque was winning her 8th Group 1 race in 4 seasons, each of which has seen her collect in this category. What a target for any of last season's 2-year-olds to aim at. And in a rather muddled year, it was indeed the 2-year-old fillies rather than the colts who gave out the most hope for the future. None were more successful than the pony-sized Diminuendo, who had already won twice by the time she turned out to break the track record in the Cherry Hinton Stakes at the Newmarket July meeting.
They're under starters' orders, they're off.
Well, they raced 6 furlongs this time for the Hillsdown Cherry Hinton Stakes. Princess Athena is the first to show in front. Princess Athena from Truly Bold on the rails. Just behind these is Diminuendo. And just after these in 4th, Angelina Ballerina, followed by Quiet Weekend. Quiet Weekend's gone past this one. With on the wide outside of the leading group is Bajan Bess, and these followed by Magic of Life. They race up now towards the halfway point. They're just over 3 furlongs from home. Angelina Ballerina is just halfway down the field. On the rails, Truly Bold, and 1 off the rails towards the stand side, Princess Athena. Close behind these comes Angelina Ballerina, who's gone up to dispute second. Still Princess Athena just in front towards the far side. Diminuendo starting her run on the far rails. Towards the stand side, Magic of Life making progress as they race up now towards the final furlong and a half. And beginning to get the upper hand, Quiet Weekend, but on the rails going through is Diminuendo. On the stand side, Magic of Life, and racing for the line, Diminuendo has a clear advantage, a length and a half. Magic of Life still making ground in second, and as they go for the line, it's Diminuendo from Magic.
We'll be seeing Diminuendo again, but her Newmarket victim Magic of Life turned out next in the Princess Margaret Stakes at Ascot. And this time it was another Cecil filly, Blue Book, who turned her over.
Turn 4, Blue Book on the inside, a classy turn and just going past her, and then comes Aim for the Top, starting a steady run up the outside. So they come now to the final 2.5 furlongs of the Princess Margaret Stakes, and What Speed still showing just in front of Magic of Life. What Speed on the rails, Blue Book now beginning a run between the two of them. Aim for the Top on the outside comes up to take issue, and these are way ahead now of Classy Turn and Istikana, and What Speed's dropped out of it as they come to the final furlong and a half, and it's between Blue Book on the rails, Magic of Life in the centre. Aim for the Top on the outside, but Blue Book has the advantage inside the furlong. It's Blue Book with a half-length advantage. Aim for the Top challenging strongly. Magic of Life's third, but going for the post. Blue Book being challenged. Blue Book being challenged by Aim for the Top. Magic of Life's in third.
The first colt we see might well be the best. For all their warning may not be much bigger than Diminuendo, he was a cracking good 2-year-old, all right. Here he is, winning his third race in a row, the Richmond Stakes at Goodwood.
Very close second. Slip and Stick has made headway. Warning has now been switched to make his run up on the outside. That's just on the inside of J. Cheever Loophole on the extreme outside the field. Into the final quarter, and they're bunching up very close. Margoob comes under pressure now. Up on the outside, J. Cheever Loophole. But the favourite, Warning, coming through now. Absolutely on the bridle. Warning now going on. Absolutely untroubled. Quickly lengthens his stride. Asserts his superiority. And it's Warning going on. Clear. Warning a long way in front now. Under Pat Edry. Double for Pat with Bell.
Warning's trainer, Guy Harwood, may not have had much in the 3-year-old department, but there was real strength in depth amongst the juveniles. The day after Warning's victory at Goodwood, the stable's Undercut completed a 4-timer in the Lanson Champagne Stakes.
Of him is Plantation. On the extreme outside comes Undercut coming with a run into the final 2.5, and it's Golden Wave, Plantation, then Undercut finishing fastest of all. Brilliant Bay comes next. The last two are Darwish and Galitzin with a furlong and a half to go, and Golden Wave hanging on, but here comes Undercut on the outside, and Pat Edry produces the favourite. Undercut to go on inside the final furlong, but not a lot in it. Undercut just from Golden Wave into the closing stages. It's Undercut by half a length, by 1 length, by 1.5. Close home. Undercut wins the Lanson Champagne.
In recent years, the gimcrack hasn't always produced the champions of the past, but there wasn't much wrong with Reprimand's record last season, nor with the way he took his field here.
With Intimidate coming up level with Golden Guard, a Reprimand being asked for his run now on the near side. Inspiration is prominent. Bay Hera, the second favourite, under pressure now, but it's Intimidate who leads. Intimidate in Sheikh Mohammed's second colours, but here comes the favourite Reprimand with Steve Cauthen on the near side. Coming down below the distance, Intimidate comes under pressure from Tony Eyes, but still just has the advantage, but Reprimand is almost level now. Racing inside the final half furlong, and the favourite, Reprimand, goes on now, racing up towards the line. It's Reprimand and Steve Cauthen from Intimidate.
Now the Lowther, and a perfect example of how it can pay to go to the paddock. For although Blue Book was to start at odds on, she was so upset in the paddock that you had to have your doubts. And in the race, Ella Romara confirmed them most impressively.
The favourite Blue Book tracks the two leaders, with Ella Romara getting a clear run up along the outside. They've completed the first quarter of a mile, and it's still Vatsala 1, Miss Boniface 2, Blue Book 3, Ella Romara 4. Just last is Madame de Searle. This is the halfway point now of the Lowther Stakes, and here Vatsala begins to weaken quickly, and Miss Boniface goes on with Ella Romara. Blue Book just being niggled along a bit to close with the leaders. Then come Madame de Searle into the final quarter, and Ella Romara now goes on from Miss Boniface. Then Madame de Searle. Blue Book, the favourite, is struggling. The odds-on favourite is well beaten. Blue Book is not going to win this one, and coming up towards the final half furlong, it's Ella Romara, the second favourite, and Paul Edry well clear, with Madame de Searle running on in second, and then Miss Boniface fourth, and only fourth.
In spite of that failure by Blue Book, Henry Cecil's record with his 2-year-old fillies was quite outstanding at this stage. An intimate guest victory in the Mayhill Stakes must have put Henry a stride or two nearer the Monopolist Commission.
Then a Shea, Triste Oy, Sunday Sport Star, the outsider, trying to put in a challenge up on the outside. Dowager Empress is last. But Jungle Gold now is being sent to come up very close to Intimate Guest. Very little between the two now. Intimate Guest on the inside with a very fractional lead over Jungle Gold. These two clear now of a Share battling on in third. Sunday Sport Star, the outsider, running well in 4. Then comes Triste Oy, still last, Dowager Empress. Down below the distance, and Jungle Gold now comes through to take it up, so it's Pat Edery and Intimate Guest, but the favourite fights back on the inside. Jungle Gold, Pat Edery, Intimate Guest, Steve Cauthen, and the favourite goes on again. Intimate Guest, a Shea flying at the finish, but at the line, it's...
Forerunner races often don't get interesting, but this year's Champagne at Doncaster turned out to be the most important Colts race run to date, bringing together as it did two unbeaten hat-trick scorers, Warning and Always Fair. This race settled any arguments.
Steve Cauthen gets first run now on Warning, with Always Fair in the lead, but Warning now coming up to dispute second with La Pierre. Three Castles are dropped away in fourth. Inside the final quarter, and it's Always Fair who's come over to race against the rails, who has the advantage. Always Fair, but now being tackled by Warning, and Warning is going very easily on the outside. Pat Edery now, so it's Pat Edery and Steve Cauthen, the season's two leading jockeys, and it's Pat who has the advantage. Warning sprinting away like a really good horse. He's got class. Up to the line. Warning it is.
Warning, of course, has full pretensions of staying the Guineas Mile. For Gallic League, pure speed is the thing. And although he may be right on the ball at the start, when he comes out, he can really run. Here's the Flying Childers.
At the end of a furlong and a half, and now the one who's taken up the running is Gallic League. It's Gallic League at the end of the first quarter. Gallic League from Golden Garter, Tricky Note, Ship of Fools, Classic Ruler tucked in just behind, so is J. Chuva Loophole. The back marker is the outsider, Tommy Daly. Running down inside the final quarter now, and it's still Gallic League who leads. Gallic League and Steve Cauthen lead by a couple of lengths or so. J. Chuva Loophole running on now to show in second place. After that comes Classic Ruler, but they're below the distance and inside the final furlong, and it's Gallic League going on now. Gallic League still from J. Chuva Loophole, the outsider Tommy Daly running through to show in third. Racing up to the line, it's one for Steve Cauthen. Gallic League.
On the rail.
Now Diminuendo again, her last appearance of the season in the Hoover Mile at Ascot. She hadn't run since the Cherry Hinton almost 12 weeks before, and many feared she might not have retained her brilliance. They were wrong.
Pennsylvania, who's made almost all the running, is still in the lead. Hayati is second, Diminuendo third. A Share starts a run towards the centre, so too does Williams Bird. O'Bear's going forward on the inside rail. Sunday Sport Star's going nowhere as they come now to the final couple of furlongs, with Hayati having taken it up. Pennsylvania weakens rapidly, and inside the final furlong it's Hayati going to be challenged by Diminuendo, and it's Diminuendo and Hayati. These two very close, but Diminuendo's getting the better of it. Diminuendo as they go to the line. Diminuendo from Hayati. Ashea's in third, and in fourth on the...
Diminuendo's stable companion San Quirico also brought an unbeaten record to Ascot, and in the Royal Lodge Stakes he had to show that he had courage as well as class, for this was as tough a test as we got all season.
And it's San Quirico with the advantage. San Quirico from Always Fair on the outside in second. Empson is third. Undercut 4, Border Guard 5, Alwahush 6, and then after these comes Galitzine and Cinnamon Reef. Coming now to the final furlong and a half. San Quirico being strongly challenged by Always Fair and Undercut. Empson running on strongly on the rails. And with now a furlong to race, it's San Quirico who's made all the running virtually, maintaining his advantage. Undercut's in second, Empson's a close third. Alwahush 4 and going with the line. San Quirico maintains it. San Quirico from Undercut.
Now the two-year-old performance of the season, Ravinella's brilliant victory over her French compatriot First Waltz in the Cheveley Park Stakes. Ella Romara was even money favourite, but this was a case when the betting seriously underestimated the strength from across the channel.
So they're on about a furlong, And it's aimed for the top, just fractionally the leader on the far side, being tracked by First Waltz, then comes Babita. Ella Romara well on terms of leaders. They come up to the 4 marker, then tracking them towards the outside, then is Madame de Searle, but it's aimed for the top, who has the advantage with about 3.5 furlongs still to go, but well on terms of Babita. Ella Romara on the near side, then is Rims, and also on the near side, Madame de Searle. They're coming now past the bushes, and as they do so, aim for the top, Babita, Ella Romara. Those three were more or less sharing the running, but only just in front of Rims. First Waltz now coming with a run on the far side, Madame de Searle on the near side, but they're well inside the final quarter. Ella Romara now just a fractional leader from First Waltz, now unleashing a run towards the far side. And so as they run now towards the final furlong, it's First Waltz who now goes on. First Waltz now takes up the running from on Ravina, and now finishing well on the near side, but Ravenella on the near side now getting the better of First Waltz as they run up towards the 9. It's Ravenella in the lead from First Waltz and Ella Romara.
In September, Henry Cecil's South had won at York so impressively, people talked of him as being the best 2-year-old around. So he started 5-1 on for the Somerville Tattersall Stakes. He had to work a bit, but didn't do his reputation much harm.
Ronak continues to lead. Ronak, South following him through on the far rail. Graham's Best is still well there. Sungirl still poised in behind them, and they're now running past the bushes. Ronak being pressed now by South, and then the Gurnus well there wide of those, and they're followed by Top Class on the far rail, then Sungirl and Graham's Best. They're running down into the dip. They've got a furlong and a half to run, and South has quickened the pace and gone a length or 2 clear. South from Ronak and then Gurnus, and as they meet the rising ground, it's South quickening up. Not quite as impressive as York. He's going 2 or 3 clear. He's going to win all right, but he hasn't come on for York for me, but I may be wrong. He still won pretty easily. At the line, it's South, the winner and clear from Ronak.
The Middle Park Stakes saw Gallic League out again, and the speed he showed made him many people's idea of the best sprinting prospect for 1988.
Which is Gallic Lead, then comes Digamist and Persian Height, who is now just relegated to 5th and last place. But Gallic Lead still has a lead as Digamist has been brought up on the outside, Golden Gutter between those two. Then Persian Heights now also unleashing a run, and then comes Rari, but they're past the bushes and coming now towards the final 2, and as they do so, Gallic League still in command. And Digamist on the outside. Rari going very sweetly, however, on the inside, just in behind the leader. But Gallic Lead the leader as they come now the 1 marker. Rari now unleashing a run, but as they run now, 150 yards still to go. It's Gallic Lead the leader from Rari in 2nd place. These two are then gone clear of the other 3. Persian Heights just taking 3rd. As they get nearer home, it's Gallic League in the lead from Rari, and a close thing for 3rd place. Persian Heights.
The Houghton Stakes has thrown up some pretty good colts in the past, but although we don't know the quality of this field, there's no doubt that Carmelite House handed out a comprehensive beating to his opponents.
That's just past halfway, and it's Carmelite House still going very easily, about 2 lengths clear now. In 2nd place, Red Gold. That's towards the stand side. Making some headway on the far side, Polar Gap just behind Max Sood as they come into the final furlong and a half. And Steve Cauthen asks Carmelite House to quicken, and Carmelite House answers and goes 3, 4, 5 lengths clear into the final furlong. Carmelite House, a good 6 lengths clear now. Mulia comes out the best of the remainder as they go for the post, with Iran Scam in 3rd, and these are clear of their rivals. Going for the line, Carmelite House being eased in the lead from Mulia and Iran Scam.
Races run on extremes of going at the end of the season are often moderate guides to the next year's classics. But although the Horace Hill conditions were more suitable to ducks, there was no mistaking the potential of glacial storm. The coming season will tell us if it was correct.
With Darwish also on the inside. Amphoteric Venture on the outer as they approach the first turn comes to go just in front of Minster Sun. So turning now back towards home with Amphoteric Venture leading by under a length from Minster Sun. Close behind these Harp Islet and Darwish race together, and then Galitzine, and then after these Expound, Glacial Storm and Zelfie the last 2. Racing back now towards the 4 furlong marker with Amphoteric Venture, who's won off the rails, and Minster Sun on the rails. These two closely followed by Darwish and Harp Islet on the far side. Galitzine towards the stand side trying to get on terms. Zelfie making steady headway. So too is Glacial Storm as they race up now to the final 2.5 furlongs with Amphithetic Venture dropping out very quickly. Zelfie comes up very smoothly to take it up. Zelfie from Young Hal in second on the far side. Minster Sun's fading, trying to get on terms Harp Islet, but as they come down to the final furlong and a half, and it's Zelfie galloping on strongly in the lead. Glacial Storm is second. Galitzine's running on well in third, but got a bit to do. And inside the final furlong, it's between Zelfie and Glacial Storm. Glacial Storm coming to challenge, and it's Glacial Storm from Zelfie in the last 50 yards. Galitzine is third, going for the line. Glacial Storm, Zelfie in second.
At Newbury 2 days later, the 7 furlong Radley Stakes saw a second appearance of the Ascot winner New Trends, but in these conditions she couldn't quite match the finishing power of the Leicester winner Sparrow's Heir.
Towards 2.5 furlongs from home, and it's Stop Day, who's been in front pretty well throughout. Stop Day leading by 1.5 lengths now. Frozen Flowers in second. Atropos still running on well in third. Humble Pie 4. Sparrow's Heir coming along just behind Sunshine Coast as they come down now towards the final furlong and a half of the Radley Stakes. And it's Stop Day who's poached long lead. Stop Day. Sparrow's Heir runs on well into second. New Trends coming very late from the back, but going for the line. Stop Day stopping rapidly. Sparrow's Heir hits the front. New Trends is in second, going for the line. Sparrow's Heir from New Trends, and then comes Stop Day.
The final 2-year-old clue now, the William Hill Futurity, which was expected to confirm South as top of the lot. However, he pulled much too hard early on, and he couldn't see his race out as strongly as the grey Sheriff Star and the Willie Carson-ridden Empson.
To dispute it. South is moving up very easily with Steve Cauthen towards the outside. Al Wahoosh is being ridden along as they come past the 3 furlong point. Sheriff Star is closing up too. Inside the final 2.5 furlongs now. And it's a very wide open race with M-Sun and South on the stand side. Then Sheriff Star moving through. Al Wahoosh looks well beaten as they race inside the final quarter mile. And South now coming up to join issue with M-Sun. Sheriff Star under strong pressure along the far rails, and these three have gone well clear of top class. Al Wahoosh is last, racing on towards the final furlong, and it's M-Sun with South not finding a great deal under the whip on the stand side. Sheriff Star is battling on well on the far side, but M-Sun's pretty game in front, and he's holding on from Sheriff Star. Here comes Sheriff Star, close home, M-Sun, Sheriff Star, it's very close.
If the fascination of looking at 2-year-old races is trying to sift out the potential, the fun of studying the top jump races is to see how the season's landmarks were reached. November begins with the Mackerson, and last season the Durham Trade New Life Connection started favourite but capsized when well up 6 fences from home, leaving the finish between the previous winner Half Free and the now well-named Very Promising.
And our fun led but makes a bit of a mistake, and that's let Very Promising come right up on terms. These two now clear of Half Free running on strongly to take third now in front of Cathy's Lad. This is the second from home, and Very Promising touches down in the lead from Our Fun and Half Free. Then comes Cathy's Lad with Little Bay now making a little ground from the rear. This is the home turn, and they've got just about a quarter of a mile to go. And it's Very Promising out in front now. Very Promising and Richard Dunwoody clear, but Half Free now putting in a challenge in second place. Our Fun hanging on well in third, and Little Bay has now gone fourth. Then comes Cathy's Lad and Golden Friend, but this is the 15th and last in the Mackerson. It was Very Promising who jumped and landed in the lead, and Our Fun was the faller. Our Fun has fallen at the final fence when in fourth place, but racing up the hill and towards the line, and Half Free putting in a tremendous challenge on the near side, but Very Promising is holding him and racing up towards the line. It's Very Promising now pulling away in the Mackerson from Half Free.
The Hennessy comes a fortnight after the Mackerson. This saw the biggest success yet for the informed Broadheath. But in view of the later Grand National result, watch the good run by the sometimes disappointing Mari Venture in third place.
The others come on for the fourth and final open ditch, and it's two coppers in the centre with Broadheath. Broadheath right on his nose there. Dorlatch is a faller at the final ditch, and they come down now for the next to last fence with just a quarter of a mile to race and two coppers. This one on the stand side who's been in the front rank throughout, disputing it with Broadheath. Not a lot between the two. Plunderings on the inside, having made headway. Strands of Gold moves into fourth. Merry Venture is a close fifth. There's a gap then to Catchpool in sixth place. Steersby is in seventh, and they come for the final fence. Broadheath was just over in the lead, but Plundering was close. Two coppers still running on very gamely on the near side. Strands of Gold and Merry Venture, these two dispute fourth place, and they come down to the final half a furlong now with Broadheath by a small margin, two coppers. Merry Venture making a little ground and passing Plundering up towards the line now, and it's Broadheath, two coppers, and Merry Venture.
Broadheath was no great shock, but in the King George at Kempton there was both surprise and delight when Desert Orchid, whom somehow we dismissed as ever likely to stay 3 miles, set off in front at 1,000,000 miles an hour and ran Forgive and Forget, Boland's Cross and Wayward Lad into the ground, and most of the time jumped them stupid.
Dorlatch a similar distance away in third, a rather wider gap to Boland's Cross. Desert Orchid's over in good style, and just one to take for this one now. Furlong to race, and Desert Orchid remaining clear, having made the running in the race, and this one coming down for the final fence with a 10-length advantage. Taking it now, Desert Orchid. Desert Orchid over safely. Now Dorlatch. Forgive and Forget, very slow and going to the left. Boland's Cross, Wayward Lad after this, and the others pulled up. So down to the line now with Desert Orchid, who's made a lot of the running, and this one's still clear of Dorlatch.
In the Christmas hurdle, Desert Orchid's stable companion Floyd also tried to take things from the front, but was locked in battle with no harm done when he had a fatal change of mind about take-off at the last.
In hot pursuit, and then after this come Prideaux Boy and Gay Brief and run over all together. Mrs. Muck almost with them, Tom Sharp being the exception to this very tightly bunched group. Up to the final flight now, where no harm done, ranges upsides Floyd, and they're going into this final flight pretty much together. Floyd's on the far rail, and Floyd comes down having slipped on the ground and leaves no harm done with a quite considerable advantage. Inside the last 100 yards now, no harm done by quite a long way. Mrs. Muck coming up to challenge Gay Brief for second. Ron overruns fourth.
The Peter Marsh Handicap at Haydock in January, just about the best chase in the north all season. The future Grand National winner Merry Venture turned over at the third. The former national hero West Tip ran more like his old self, but the real battle was between the improving The Thinker and that bold but sometimes reckless front runner, Sybrandian. That is, until Sybrandian turned over at the second last.
And it's The Thinker coming right up now to take up the running from Sybrandian. These two going 4 lengths clear, and Sybrandian has gone, dived at that fence, and Thinker now left well clear as they race down towards the final fence. The Thinker with a lead of some 5-6 lengths from West Tip. Then comes Townley Stone and Golden Friend, but The Thinker is clear as he comes towards the final fence in the Peter Marsh, and he's over safely with a good long lead from West Tip. Then comes Townley Stone and Golden Friend, but on the running now, The Thinker sprinting well clear as West Tip is being challenged on the far side by Golden Friend for second place. But The Thinker coming up now towards the final 100 yards, out on his own. Golden Friend putting in a strong late challenge, but it's far too late, and The Thinker comes up to the line with a lead of some 3 or 4 lengths from Golden Friend, West Tip and Townley Stone.
It must infuriate the tote when their handsomely endowed Tote Gold trophy at Newbury is still referred to by its former name. But they'll have to forgive me saying that Neblin's victory this year came after 2 particularly promising Schweppes-style preliminaries.
Boy in the lead on the far side, Saffron Lord in the centre. Then comes Predominate, followed by Jim Thorpe, Mrs. Muck, Neblin, and as they jumped the second last, it was Mrs. Muck and Neblin together from Saffron Lord, one to jump, and it's Neblin and Mrs. Muck from Saffron Lord, Sproston Boy, Predominate, Jim Thorpe, Helsinar making ground. They jumped the last, Neblin, Mrs. Muck, Saffron Lord, and it's Neblin from Mrs. Muck and Saffron Lord. And as they race on towards the line, it's Neblin on the stern side, Mrs. Muck, Saffron Lord on the far side, 100 yards to race. It's Neblin holding Mrs. Muck and Saffron Lord. They go over the line. It is Neblin, Mrs. Muck, Saffron Lord and Yavis.
On to the champion hurdle now, and as usual, the champion See You Then had to endure plenty of jibes of see you when before his one preliminary at Haydock. But it was a good thing he got that run under his belt, because he had to dig quite deep to win the crown for a third time, holding off the brave challenge of the American ace Flatterer.
See You Then, and Commandante has pulled up. Flatterer is moving a little closer as they pass the 3 furlong pole. Coming to jump this one at the foot of the hill, where Barnbrook again had the edge from River Kerryog. See You Then close up, Flatterer in 4th place. After this, No Harm Done, who's moved into 5th, and this one followed by Step Aside Lord and Deep Idol, and after this one, Prideaux Boy. Furlong and a half to race now. See You Then ranging up very smoothly and going to jump just in the lead from Barnbrook again. River Kerryog is a faller here, and another one down is Saffron Lord impeding Run Over, but the leaders come inside the final 150 yards now, and it's See You Then. Flatterer running on strongly, as is Barnbrook again. 50 yards to go now, and it's See You Then, and at the line, See You Then from Flatterer, Barnbrook again, and Deep Idol.
One of the most exciting moments of the whole festival now, a tremendous rally by G. Armitage on the Elia to peg back Lanariga up the Cheltenham Hill. G was also to get home a winner at Liverpool. She's obviously a girl for the big occasion.
In 4th is some 4 or 5 lengths away, Fettered Friend after this, and then Ballygo, and they're a long way from the others, led by Glide Court. So they come up for the final obstacle now with just over a furlong to race. Lanariga, who's made the running, going away to the right just a little bit, but over it safely. The Elia and Golden Minstrel were both straighter, and the Elia closes as they run up the rising ground. They've got 100 yards to go. Lanariga, the Elia closing with every stride. Coming up to the line, it's the Elia from Lanariga, Golden Minstrel after this.
Top races don't always live up to their billing, but this year's Queen Mother Champion Chase was worthy of its name. Desert Orchid making the running, even if on his unfavoured left-handed circuit, and Very Promising and Pearly Man setting off up the hill for what we could only call a battle royal.
Very Promising on the inside has come right up in contention again, just behind Desert Orchid. So it's Desert Orchid 1, Very Promising 2. Now, Pearly Man between the two is close in 3rd, and then Townley Stone. These are followed by the now weakening Charcoal Wally, and this is the 2nd from home. Desert Orchid over 1st, Very Promising 2nd, Pearly Man 3rd, then Townley Stone and Charcoal Wally. They've got less than 3 furlongs to run in the Queen Mother Champion Chase. They're at the final turn, in line for the final fence now, and Pearly Man, the favourite, coming strongly now on the outside of Very Promising. So it's Peter Scudamore and Pearly Man, Very Promising, and Richard Dunwoody from Colin Brown and Desert Orchid. And over the final fence, it was just Pearly Man. Pearly Man from Very Promising, not a lot between the two. Desert Orchid is next, and these 3 have drawn clear. Very Promising putting in a spirited run over on the inside to just get up, but there's nothing in it. Very Promising and Pearly Man upset together. Pearly Man just up the line. Pearly Man just...
Graham Bradley is correctly renowned as the coolest jockey about. The trouble is that when his waiting tactics don't come off, all hell tends to break loose. When he gets it right, like Kildemo sweeping through in the Sun Alliance chase, Graham is quite simply a joy to watch.
After these comes Play School, improving into 3rd. Midnight Madness remains a close 4th, and then Brittany Boy 5 and Kildemo 6. So the 4th and final open ditch here. Mr. Frisk, Cavies Clown, Play School, a length separating each of these. They're followed by Brittany Boy making headway into 4th place. After this, Midnight Madness a close 5th, and they start downhill. And all safely over the open ditch. The field pretty well spread out now, and they come down now to plain fences. with Mr. Frisk, who's made the bulk of the running in this race, Kevy's Clown ranging up on the outside, and in fact joining this one as they come to the next one, and Kildemo, who's made very steady headway through the field. This one close up after this, Play School on the inside, and Kevy's Clown goes here, might slightly have impeded Kildemo, but he runs back up towards the leaders. And El Keeper was brought down at that one, and they got 3 furlongs to race. So we've got Play School and Kildemo here. Play School was just ahead. Kildemo on the outside. Mr. Frisk, the earlier leader, relegated to 3rd. After them, we go back to Brittany Boy in the next place. A gap after them back to the remainder of the field, who are led by Against the Grain. So inside the final furlong and a half now, and it's Kildemo, who's made up a lot of ground to come up to take the lead, coming to take the last with about a length advantage and well over it from Play School. Mr. Frisk disputes 3rd place with Brittany Boy, and after these Against the Grain in 5th, but it's Kildemo inside the final 100 yards now and 50 yards to race. Kildemo.
The Triumph hurdle produced its usual enormous field, but it also confirmed the wisdom of bringing a horse fresh to such a major battle. A lone success began hurdling only in February. This was his 3rd win in a row and a famous one.
Up front, High Knoll, with now a lone success coming through to join issue. So it's High Knoll and a lone success with Past Glory's not out of it. That's in 3rd after these. Grable running well still. And then No Negate. Master Don's dropped back now. Behind Master Don races Aldino with Osric. And then you've got to look back a long way to find Maznoon with Anything Better. And then Sprouston Boy, Full Flow and Agathist. But running now towards the 8th and final flight in the Daily Express Triumph Hurdle. And up front, the 3 leaders are Past Glories, a lone success, High Knoll, and then Grable at the final flight now. And it was a lone success just. A lone success from Past Glories. No Negate fell at the last and brought down Full Flow, and Irish Dream has gone as well, but racing up the hill towards the closing stages, a lone success, and Steve Smith-Eccles on the far side, Past Glories, and Patrick Farrell on the near side, Grable and Tony Mullins, but close home, it's just...
Now the Gold Cup, the race that nearly never was, delayed 90 minutes by a blizzard, and although some people might argue about the quality of the victors, there was no doubting the gameness with which the Thinker ground his way home, particularly since he attempted a one-horse demolition job on the 3rd last.
Just Cybrandian, but the Thinker is getting closer. Dorlatch is with them too, and here it was Cybrandian, the Thinker, Dorlatch, Wayward Lad now 4th. Then comes Forgive and Forget, who seems to be struggling a little. Then Coombs Ditch, and these are clear of West Tip and Golden Friend, and all this group are a long way clear of Mr. Moonraker. They're at the final turn in the Gold Cup with just 2 fences to take as they make their way into the final straight. And they've got a tough uphill climb ahead of them, and it's Cybrandian with Wayward Lad now moving into 2nd. Then comes the Thinker, followed by Forgive and Forget, running on again now at the 2nd last. Cybrandian took it first from Wayward Lad and the Thinker, then Forgive and Forget. Dorlatch comes next, and then Golden Friend coming with a run. Coming now to the 22nd and final fence in the Gold Cup, and it's going to be Cybrandian over first. Cybrandian from Wayward Lad and the Thinker, then Dorlatch putting in a strong run on the near side, racing now into the final 150 yards, and Cybrandian is desperately tired, and Cybrandian is being passed by the Thinker, and it's the Thinker going on under Ridley Lamb. Ridley Lamb and the Thinker coming home for a great Northern win in the Gold Cup.
It's not often you get a race in which the losers feel honoured to have taken part. But that has to have been the case in the Whitbread Gold Label Cup at Liverpool, positively the very last appearance of a horse who'd won almost everything by the Cheltenham Gold Cup and now bowed out with the ultimate sense of style, Wayward Lad.
Final open ditch. Galway Blaze jumping right a long way in arrears, and the others come down to the next last now with a 1/4 mile to race. Simon LeGray on the inside of Wayward Lad. After this one we have Cybrandian, then Boland's Cross, Steersby fairly remote in 5th. Galway Blaze has pulled up as the others come onto the final fence now. Wayward Lad on the stand side in the lead as they jump it, and went on again. So Wayward Lad from Simon Legree, a couple of legs separating them. Simon Legree runs on quite strongly, but Wayward Lad, not to be denied, comes inside the final half furlong now. Wayward Lad, in fact, going away slowly, coming up towards the line, and it's Wayward Lad, a clear leader from Simon Legree. Brandian runs 3, Boland's Cross about to finish.
Of the crowd, they're off and running, and away they go towards the Melling Road.
40 runners in the Grand National last season. One tragedy when Dark Ivy broke his neck at Beecher's, and triumph for jumping's oldest owner, 92-year-old Jim Joel, whose black and scarlet colours came home on Maori Venture.
Dark Ivy as they cross the Melling Road over to Lee Mackenzie.
And Plundering is certainly one of the leaders, with Corbiere on the inside. Also, Why Forget is very prominent. Inshore is there too, so also is Northern Bay as they jump the first. And as they race now on towards the second, the leader is Plundering just in the centre with Inshore. Lucky Roo was the faller at the first, and as they jump the second, it's Lannerai has now pulled his way to the front from Inshore on the inside, then Northern Bay prominent, then Eamon's Owen, and then comes Attitude Adjuster together with Classified, Tracy Special, and You're Welcome. This is the ditch. Lannerai, a great big leap, safely over in front. A bad mistake there by High Harry, who survives.
The last fence before they cross the Melling Road. Little Tuesday between Attitude Adjuster and Lannerai, and the leading two of them being followed by Big Brown Bear, West Tip, then You're Lucky, then You're Welcome rather, just in behind them, Maori Venture.
Now in the past, Maori Venture has been something of a dodgy jumper. But faced with Aintree obstacles, he put his act together with admirable efficiency, and once again, the Aintree run-in was a place for bold men and brave horses.
Back to Peter in the grandstand.
Yes, Lannerai the leader, You're Welcome, Attitude Adjuster, and Maori Venture disputing second place. Then West Tip and the Tsarevich, and they're followed by Tracy Special and Big Brown Bear. Two more fences to jump in the Grand National. A loose horse is leading, Lannerai, who's on the right, Maori Venture towards the left. They're hunted up by You're Welcome. Then comes Attitude Adjuster, the Tsarevich. West Tip comes next, and they're over this second last. And it's Lannerai in the lead from Maori Venture, and the Tsarevich in third place. Then comes You're Welcome, then West Tip under the whip. Then comes Attitude Adjuster and Tracy Special. One to jump, and over goes Lannerai. He's in the lead from Maori Venture on the stand side. The Tsarevich is chasing these two. These three are a long way clear of You're Welcome and West Tip. They have 250 yards to go, and Lannerai and the Tsarevich comes through on the inside, but Maori Venture is the leader. Maori Venture and the Tsarevich. The Tsarevich on the far side, Maori Venture on the stand side. Maori Venture is the strongest. Maori Venture going away in Jim Joel's colours. Maori Venture has 100 yards to run to win the National. Maori Venture the winner, the Tsarevich is second.
After that wonderfully forceful national run by Lannerai, many people felt it was asking too much for the same horse to try his usual trailblazing style again in the Whitbread. But that's the way Lannerai likes it, and he and Guy Landau were happy on firm going, which took all the bounce out of a sore-footed Desert Orchid, onto which Guy Landau was very nearly deposited 6 from home.
In second, Broadheath has gone third, Dorlatch 4 on the outside. I Haven't a Light as they go to the 5th from home, Lannerai, and Desert Orchid pulled up, and the Langham Dyer both pulled up as they go to the 4th from home. It's Lannerai the leader by 2 lengths. In second place, Contradeal. I Haven't a Light is third. Broadheath 4. And they're beginning to go away from Dorlatch in 5. And some way behind comes Torside and Plundering. And now 3 fences remaining in the Whitbread. They turn to come back for home, and it's Lannerai with a 2-length advantage. Contradeal is second. A close third is I Haven't a Light. And then after these comes Broadheath. Dorlatch coming back on the scene. And these 5 have gone clear of Plundering and Torside as they go to the last. Lannerai yet to be headed in the race. The challenger is Contradeal. In third is Broadheath. Then comes in 4th, I Haven't a Light, Dorlatch 5. 2 more to jump in the Whitbread. Lannerai's the leader. Contradeal is second. Broadheath is third. I Haven't a Light 4. And these 4 clear of Broadheath in 5. With 1 to jump in the Whitbread Gold Cup. It's Lannerai. Lannerai made every yard of the running. From Contradeal in second. Broadheath's in third. These 3 clear of their rivals. Lannerai leads. 3 lengths, 4 lengths. Contradeal's in second. Broadheath's in third. Going for the line. It's Lannerai. Every yard of the running.